Penn Farm Girl's here. And
Yay!
let's see if I can do this now and not screw everything up. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh God, this sucks. Here, we'll do this. We'll do this one. Okay.
Pen, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Hopefully that helped. Did it help?
Yeah.
All right. How's it going?
Good.
Is my microphone working?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay, great, because it wasn't working with random last night.
I know. I felt bad. I was like, oh.
But it was so
What's going
weird.
on?
This microphone's worked ever since I got it. I don't know what happened.
Sometimes, like what just happened with me, sometimes if you jump in and your settings are messed up, it won't let you reset it unless you come back out, go back in.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah, I did
That's what
that like
happened
10
to me
times.
last night, Pen, on randoms. I had to hop out and hop back in because all of a sudden my microphone quit working.
Yeah, mine kept doing that, and then I made the mistake of trying to go on from my Kindle, and it would not shut down. So, yeah, that was not a good idea.
Yeah.
Missed all those live streams last night. I was watching how'd they go? Like
Good.
the Anti-Tracker. It was
Good. Yeah, I was on Anti-Tracker. And then he had the guy from Truck Yards in there again. Captain, what's his name?
Foley? Is it Captain
Yeah,
Foley?
Foley, yes. And then after random stream, she jumped in there too. And I think it was me and Captain George that were the only people moderating, and George left for a while. And it was just me. So I was trying to stay awake. I was having the hardest time.
Yeah, well, hey, we appreciate you being a trooper, but we can always moderate ourselves if need be.
I know.
Especially Anti-Tracker. I mean, he reads his. He's really good about reading his.
He's
chat.
really good. I know.
Yeah, I like his live stream. It's very chill.
I do too.
It's very chill.
So nice too.
Who else do we have in here? I see a muted mic. I see Matthew. Hello, Matthew. I see Penn Farm Girl. I see Sculpted Leather. I saw you put a video up today, Viking Bitch. Did you put a video up? Was that today or yesterday? Okay, I'm gonna watch that. I'll watch that before I watch Doctor Who. I promise. And yeah, Doctor Who. But
where are you starting with Doctor Who? Just from
right afterwards. Where as soon as it's airing at 10, it's airing in an hour. So that's why this is the only time I could carve out today. Mrs. Nerdotic is at a flea market, and I'm helping her do transactions.
Oh my! So you're gonna have a whole garage full of stuff by the time she's done.
Oh, dude.
She's supposed to be selling, isn't she?
Yeah, there's this Alameda flea market, which is amazing. Like,
there's like an ultimate watch party thing first, and then it's starting. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch the ultimate. I can't do any. I've not watched. I've not read a single review. I'm not reading any of the preamble or anything. I haven't even. I watched a trailer once, so I can go in here just looking at it as a TV show because that's my whole thing. Is I want to look at it. I want to like try to get rid of all my preconceived notions as much as I can.
I know. I do too because I've been really upset about it, and
we'll see. We'll see if it wins us over. You know, it could just like Star Trek Discovery could win us over.
Oh yeah,
not,
really.
But well, I don't think so.
Well, bloody likely.
I was rewatching Day of the Doctor, which was probably a bad mistake, seeing Tennant and going into the new one.
I know. I was watching that too just now.
That was like the last good episode for me. I mean, there's a couple of good after that, but I had to admit to myself that it really. was more about the content of the show that's upset me than anything else lately. And it's just turned into a completely weird, different show. And maybe it's just not for me anymore. And we'll find out.
Yeah, the Day of the Doctor's just finishing up right now.
Yeah, I've been on big, I get in kicks. So I've Tom Baker season 1 came out in Blu-ray, and I will be covering that on the Patreon. It's
so I have BritBox.
BritBox is great.
I love it.
I got to chill on subscriptions though, since my income is greatly reduced for the time being. So
me too.
I got a little. I don't know if they cashed out my. I think they cashed out my my shares, because I got my last payment from Tesla today, and it's way more than I thought I was going to get. So I was like, what?
Oh, they probably did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
Gary,
odd. I would think that they would give you some kind of notification first to see what you wanted to do.
Or an option, yeah, to either roll it into something or to.
Yeah, maybe there was I don't know, because I only worked a week before I quit, and it was like 3 weeks worth of pay. So I'm not complaining. I was very shocked to see. I'm surprised they did it direct deposit too. That was weird, but they did. So. Yeah.
So Gary, Matthew is a Farscape fan.
Matthew, you are a Farscape fan.
Yep.
That is good. I am a late comer and an idiot when it comes to Farscape. I freely admit it. So is that why you came on board, or is it for other reasons?
No, it was for The Expanse. That's when I first found you guys. Been kind of hanging out in the background for a long time, chatting up the Farscape thing, Babylon 5, and The Expanse stuff.
Babylon 5 is something I've utterly failed at too. I watched like a few episodes, but when it was out, I just wasn't watching a ton of TV. And I was kind of a Star Trek snob at the time, so I was like, oh, it's a copy of DS9, and I know now I've learned the error of my ways since then. So that's something I'm going to do next year. But
I like the fact that they put it on Amazon streaming, but it's still hard to watch with those graphics these days.
I heard it's bad. I haven't seen any, but I mean, I like old Doctor Who, so I'll probably be okay with it.
I'm still there for the character development and the storyline, not the effects. So I'm still loving it.
Just I spent an hour talking to J. Michael Straczynski. A friend of mine is friends with him. So he actually got, we all had a little meetup at a Comic-Con one day, and such a cool dude. I became the biggest fan of his, even though he like kind of screwed up Spider-Man. I still love the guy.
Not gonna let that one go.
No, I can't. But he's really nice. He's really nice, and that was kind of a surprise. Usually writers are, I don't know, quiet, or I don't know. I hate to generalize, but I was just surprised like at his demeanor and how cool he was.
I've liked the Cafe Press books that they put out too. The Babylon 5 behind the scenes stuff that they did. Some of that stuff is really cool, especially with how they screwed up some of the later stuff, and the books kind of fix it, sort of.
I gotta check that out.
Are those the trilogies or the 9 standalone books?
No, it started off as the script books, and then they went into arts and artifacts of the universe and made an encyclopedia, and then went through all the Crusade stuff, the order it should have been in, and the rest of the stories and scripts that were actually written for the show that never got produced and stuff like that.
Oh, I think I'm missing that. Okay, now I'm upset. I thought I had everything necessary for a B5 fan to have. All right, Cafe Press, got to write that down. But Matthew, have you read the trilogies?
I could never find them.
Oh my God, you need to track them down. They are so freaking good.
Yeah.
Are they out of print or something, or?
Yeah, and they were hard to find when they first came out. Even the 9 standalones, for some reason, the final one, like me and my coworkers were all spending like $50 for a freaking paperback book right after it came out, and there was no reason for it. And right now you can pick them up on eBay for, there's one guy that's had them out for around $20 for the whole series of 9 because Random's been looking at them. I actually have 8 of the 9 trilogy books, the 3 trilogies that one of my coworkers gave me when they moved to Colorado, and I'm I told Random if she wanted them that we'd have to talk about a price. Those in the Micro Machines.
Oh, Micro Machines.
That takes you back. Oh my gosh.
There was so little collectibles for Babylon 5 that it truly is. You can truly own everything there was because there's not hardly anything.
See, that's a great thing to get into for a collector then, like limited stuff. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's hard to find, but yeah, that's good that there's a top to that. Like you can actually get everything.
The website for the Babylon 5 books is b5books.com. They've kind of been slowing down and shutting it down with their last big encyclopedia release, so I don't know how many of them are still left.
Well, if you need me to find you stuff, I'm really, really good at it. I have a connection. I'm in this chat with all these other comic shop owners, and I mean, like, that's my secret is I just ask one of those guys, hey, I'm looking for this, and like within a week, somebody has it.
Nice.
Yeah. Dennis may be joining us. So.
Oh, cool.
Sweet. Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and Matthew, I just recently found out there was a wristwatch that was apparently made for a video game that never got licensed and put out, but it's got a shadow ship on the face of the watch. There's one on eBay right now for like $500, and the only other one that I've ever found sold like 2 years ago for $50. So It's like really 50 to 500 in like 2 years, but missed that one when it was out. I didn't even know it existed.
People in the chat too. Hello, Liam. How are you? I'm gonna type that too. I don't know why, because I just said it, but so while people are jumping in, you want to go Viking bitch? What is going on in your Heather? What's going on in your life?
Well, lots of art. I actually dug my hands into a piece of clay yesterday, so hopefully within about a week or so, I should have something new. Because I had a horseshit week, so I decided that I was gonna beat up some clay.
That's good.
It's a good tension release.
Yeah. There you go.
Art comes from pain. Good art comes from pain.
Yeah. Yeah. And that video I put up was I remounted and repainted an old piece. So it's like it's revamped, but it looks much better than it did. So
nice. You kind of did a George Lucas on it, but actually improved it.
I actually thought about that, but yes, I did improve it.
A little director's cut. Nice.
You should have shown us the before, or is there another video out there with it from before?
I still have some pictures of the before. So I'm sure there'll be some people that'll be like, how could you do that? But it's mine, damn it. I'll do what I want.
Exactly.
You're the creator. It's canon.
No, it's fine. So I'm just, yeah. The Venture Brothers cheered me up immensely because the Monarch really did sum up my week, you know. Fuck it, fuck this, fuck you! I'm like, yeah.
I'm totally bummed out. Like I would get a copyright strike because that's the kind of shit I'd love to do in our videos to like end it with that every day. You know, fuck this, fuck you, I'm fucking out.
Then pull up your shirt with your tattoo. It says "Hench for life."
Hench for life.
Hench for life. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Level 10.
No, I am going to get the Order of the Triad on this hand. So that's going to be the what's going right here.
Nice.
Order of the Triad.
That would be awesome.
There was no, Dr. Orpheus like disappeared after the first episode. He was gone. I guess it didn't matter. And that was so good. I watched it again, Heather. That was such a good episode. It was so funny. Oh my God. I was laughing just as much the second time around when I knew the jokes were coming. So
right.
That's a sign of a good show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if there's any creators I'd want to get on, it's Doc Hammer and Jackson Public. I would die to talk to those guys.
And I wonder if they'd be open to it. I mean, they seem pretty cool. Doesn't
hurt to ask, I guess.
Yeah.
Susan's really good at, guiding. She's just a go-getter, so she knows how to like. She just cold calls like publicity people and just is able to get interviews because she asks, and she's persistent.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I like about Susan.
Dang.
Hi, Fanobi. Hi,
Hello.
Steve.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. My Friday night voice on a Sunday morning.
I know, that's what I was like. I was losing my voice last night.
It's the rich, leathery coffee voice.
It is. Oh yeah, with the beats. Good shit. I love this stuff. If they ever close down, I'd probably have to invent meetings to deal with the closure of Pete. Yeah, Mary, you're like all over the streams all day. I mean, because I'm everybody who streams I watch. It's on the background whether I turn it down sometimes and watch some other stuff. I had Anti-Trekkers stream up on one side and I was watching Man in the High Castle, so I was just like kind of out of the corner of my eye because preview of Man in the High Castle, it's like half a good show and half of boring as hell, and so I found myself fast forwarding through a bunch of just people looking longingly out of windows and stuff, and now I just got out.
Oh wow.
It's weird. It's I'll talk about it later, but I didn't understand.
Venture Brothers, huh?
No Venture Brothers. Fuck no, nothing is Venture Brothers. Oh my god, except for Happy. Did you see that Happy season 2 trailer?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I love that they're gonna fuck with the holiday every season. So it's like next one's Easter. Yeah, it's gonna be good and wrong.
When are they going to put that out? Like, they don't have it streaming. They don't have it out on disc. I'm trying to like introduce people to the show and nobody can fucking watch it. Hello,
I saw the first 3.
All right. So just between us friends here in the chat. Okay. This is why you come to Patreon. You get some inside dope that I am never supposed to repeat, but I love you guys. So Derek Robertson got completely fucked by Happy. He got screwed over by Grant Morrison. He got screwed over by Sci-Fi. He got screwed over by his own representation, who I introduced him to. It was a thing. And that's why he backed out of the interview, because he was really upset. What happened was when he started watching the episode, he started getting a cold shoulder about 2 weeks before the show started. He got his check. He got his, there's 2 checks you get. There's the option check, and then there's the, we greenlit this and we're making it into a show check. So he got the option check and, was waiting to pay down a bunch of bills, cause he's a freelancer. His wife, Meredith, is awesome. Who the Meredith in the show is named after his wife. She takes care of the kids. She homeschools the kids and stuff. They're very off the grid artist people. So he makes all the money. He was waiting on that check. They had promised him a certain amount of money. Check comes in, it's half as much. He's like, what the fuck? Then he notices on the show, his name's not on it anywhere.
Oh, that's
my god.
And I like subtly tried to hint like, oh, it's weird that Derek's name's not on this show. And that's all I was allowed to say, period. Because I was ready to like, dude, I'm going to go online and I'm going to streak the foot in the and he's like, don't, please don't. And because it might have screwed up boys, which we didn't want to do. And so Grant Morrison, whose wife handles all his business stuff, basically they wrote him right out of the deal. And I guess there was some clause in the contract when they signed up at Image Comics where it was from, because Image Comics is creators owned. They just print the comics, everybody owns their shit, and it's 50-50 between Derek Robertson and Grant Morrison. I was in the room when he drew Happy for the first time and made him a donkey, because it was supposed to be more unicorn looking. And then he went more jackass looking and we got the cute look. And so what happened was Grant Morrison just Hollywooded him and wrote him out of the deal. I guess some representation got to him on the side and goes, you're really the idea, man. You're the executive producer. He's just the artist. He just did what you told him to do.
Hey, Dennis.
And
there's Dennis.
There's Dennis. And the representation for Derek, who had been my representation for a long time, who I had he's that IP attorney I keep referring to. We had a huge falling out. We're not friends anymore. I will never speak to him again. I've
Yeah.
forgiven, but I've not forgot.
Yes.
And Dennis knows the whole damn story. He heard me crying about it for a year.
Yeah, it took a lot of alcohol in order to get rid of some of it.
Yeah. And
Memories.
so what? Yeah. Well, I guess that guy either turned a blind eye to what was going on, or I think he's oversold himself. He's kind of wormed his way in. He worms his way into people's lives, attaches to them, but it doesn't really deliver on the work.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of a shyster. And this is between us, and it sucks. And of course, Derek finally got rid of him, and he got a better deal. But yeah, he's like, he gets nothing out of Happy. We'll get nothing out of Happy. And you'll watch his tweets. He'll post it just to be nice, just to look like he slightly supports, but he doesn't really talk about it anymore at all.
That's fucked up.
Totally fucked up.
Yeah.
That's Hollywood.
So he gets a better deal from the boys, right?
Oh yeah. He was on set. Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, and the other guy who's actually the show. There's another showrunner there.
Yeah, there's 4 showrunners. He's a consultant on the set. Him and Garth Ennis had a huge falling out because artists do that. But they have since reconciled and they're friends again. So Garth and him are a huge part of the show. Garth saw what Grant Morrison did with Happy, and because he wasn't super involved with the boys, with Preacher, so he saw that, wow, maybe I should be involved in these TV shows. And Garth really loves boys because Garth hates superheroes. Hates them.
Okay.
So it's going to be a fun show. But yeah, that's the story of Derek Robertson and Happy that we cannot tell on the regular broadcast because.
Are you still having him on the channel?
Yes. Yeah. And we're going to talk about the boys. We're going to talk about
the
boys.
trailer still looked great.
Oh, the show's fantastic.
Between that and Good Omens and American Gods all coming, it was like,
I know. I can't wait for Good Omens.
Good Omens looks fun.
Project Blue Book, we just got a release date of January 8th.
Oh, yes.
As of last night.
Nice.
oh,
Yeah.
So Dennis and I have been talking about these, the channel's growth has been good. And we were waiting for this explosion to happen. We were kind of expecting it to happen in October when more shows came back, but then no shows came back, essentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
January is going to be our month, I think.
They pushed it all
2019 is
back.
looking good.
though.
It's ridiculous the amount of shows coming out. I mean, January 8th, Project Blue Book, I think Project Blue Book beats them all to the table at the moment. And then I'm actually looking at the site right now because I posted up everything with dates and everything, and it was just freaking ridiculous. That's what I was doing this morning. January 17th, STD returns with the bearded Spock.
Ugh.
Everyone's happy about that.
Yeah.
Oh my
January
God.
16th, Deadly Class comes to Sci-Fi from the Russo brothers. It's Sci-Fi, but it's Russo brothers.
So it's still sci-fi.
Yeah. What else? No, that's Daredevil.
Greetings,
I don't
Jess.
know.
Hi, Jess.
Hello. We don't know when Good Omens is coming out. They still haven't given their date on Good Omens. And there was
April.
something-
Word on the street is April.
Is it April?
Oh.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, because they released the
Oh,
trailer.
God.
I posted the trailer up.
I want the poster.
For Good
And-
Omens?
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing. I am super excited for that show too.
I know.
I love posters that are the same or that work upside down or right side up.
Yes.
I want that. I want 2 of them.
February 15th, Umbrella Academy comes out on Netflix. That's going to be awesome.
Hey, Jess, your mic's muted.
That's probably good. Kids running around in the background.
And welcome, Matthew, also.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, I was actually on the phone with my daughter when I popped up on Patreon and saw this, and I was like, "Oh, this was early this morning." And then I remembered it was on California time. I'm on South Carolina time, so I was like, "Oh, maybe I can actually still make it."
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
you're
doing
East
for
Coast
another
like
30
me.
minutes.
Those late
Yeah, so-
streams Gary does kill us.
It kills you.
I mean, I'm a night person. I would probably stay up all night, but you know,
Yeah.
there's things to be done.
Oh my God, I was up so past my bedtime last night because I was up with Random, Pen Farm Girl, and Rob and Tom. And once Rob and Tom popped in, my geek out mode went into overdrive. It was like midnight, and I was like 3 hours. Like, I got to go to bed.
Yeah, I think Pen's been snorting Nodos lately.
They still make those?
I've been snorting cocaine, Steve. Fuck around with that Nodo shit.
Jess looked like his head was going to hit the desk though at any moment during the end of that.
Who, me?
No, Jess was. But Dennis, what was that last show you mentioned? Umbrella something? I didn't
The
know
Umbrella
about that.
Academy. The Umbrella
What is
Academy is
that?
an awesome comic about a group of superheroes that were kids, and now they've kind of grown up. But one of them, he's still a child, but he's mentally aged, of course, because of the way what happened to him. He ended up in a time warp, and so his body never ages. But the rest of them have, and they've broken up, and now there's something that's big that's out there that they have to come back together again. Ellen Page is in it. She's the only one that doesn't have superpowers out of the group. And yeah, it's an awesome it's actually written by who's the lead singer again, Gary?
Oh God, of the Black Parade guy, Screamo band. My kids loved him.
Yeah, I can't remember. He's actually a well-known singer, and he actually wrote this comic.
He was a Marvel intern.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of
My Chemical Romance. Yes,
My Chemical Romance.
Oh, My Chemical Romance.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, and it's just an awesome comic.
Well, he's a much better comic book writer than he is a lyricist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, and that's just the beginning, and that's the that's why we can really take. We don't need Star Trek. I mean, sorry, we don't need Star Trek or anything anymore. Really, I mean, that's why I can move on. Really. And then we got the Twilight Zone coming out next year, which God, it sucks. It's on CBS All Access, but I'm still kind of excited about it, to be honest with you.
With Bearded Spock.
Bearded Spock, I'm not excited. I did a video.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
We
Whole
were
Foods
making
Spock.
fun of him last night. Yeah, we were calling him
70s porn star.
Yeah.
70s
porn star.
70s porn star.
Wow, chicka wow wow.
Wow, chicka wow wow.
I finally got around to watching that trailer, and I have no interest in the show anyway, and I won't watch it. But if they just took the insignia off the shirt, they could just say, "Hey, new sci-fi show from CBS."
Exactly.
It still looks terrible, but at least it wouldn't step on anything.
I liked Anson Mount.
Right.
When he was doing his stuff, I was like, you know what? If they just kind of moved this into the future a bit more and just made it a Star Trek show and had him as the captain, I was fine with that. I was like,
Yeah.
because it looked like a regular Star Trek show with him going, okay. He goes, you give your life for me, I'll give, we'll give your life for you, kind of thing. And I was like, hey, wow, that sounded like Star Trek for a second.
Yeah,
It
the
did.
whole "we don't leave a man behind" was a little military-ish.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you could tell it was kind of shoehorned in, and I actually even liked Rebecca Romaine as number one.
Yeah. That was the one good thing.
Yeah.
The only good thing about the panel is when they were talking about Patrick Stewart, and she said, "Well, I'm a Magneto girl," and I'm like,
Oh, that's cute.
That's funny.
that was funny.
Didn't
But
see
then when
that.
they were talking about the whole watch the panel. The panel is like says it all. That's all I needed to hear. I mean, the trailer was not I honestly, the trailer didn't show enough. It was just boom, explosion, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, and like fine. I didn't have a problem with it, but what you hear in the
Instead of
panel.
toilet paddles, you can give STD like bullshit paddles, and they can just hold them up before the panel. Just say,
Oh,
"Hey,
good
I'm about to
idea.
start some bullshit right here."
Sci-fi
Yeah.
handed these out at Comic-Con, so I could have
Oh,
done
yeah.
this or
Oh,
this or
that's
this.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I drew that in.
How about a double fingered FU?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got to make the English one. Yeah, the one that goes like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Gary,
Oh,
as
man,
soon as I saw that picture of the bearded Spock, the thought that went through my head is, this might be enough to make Gary want to shave. And then you said it in your video, and I was cracking up.
Yep.
And then I said, no, please don't.
No.
It's too good of a beard.
No, I'm going to trim it.
Gary's
today,
beard
guys.
is way better than that one.
Thanks.
Oh, I'm sure Mikey Spock is going to shave him.
Oh, she's going to shave him with a straight razor. It'll be very sensual.
Yeah.
Because they keep talking on the panel. They were like, we were really close as brother and sister. They're going to show the connection. And it has something to do with the Red Angel.
Are we going Game of Thrones here?
Oh, let's hope so. It'll make it interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say. That's the only way you can actually make this thing interesting is by going that direction.
Oh boy.
Well, fuck those guys. We got all kinds of good stuff that we can
do.
actually enjoy and be
Exactly.
excited about coming up. So fuck them.
Dennis just listed
Expanse is
4.
filming.
Expanse is
Yes.
filming. The shows Dennis just mentioned, and I got to back him up on Umbrella Academy. It's like a fantastic. It's something you guys will really like.
That sounds really good.
Read the
Daily
comics.
Classic's
Honestly,
good.
it's so awesome. I mean, because they're not going to be able to do it. There's one character who has a gorilla body with his head transplanted onto it. That's all I'm going to say. And it's out of necessity. And Dark Horse actually, because it's a Dark Horse comic, and they made the figure this year. And I really am kind of thinking about buying it, even though it's a couple $100. Because it's just so well made. I saw it at Comic-Con and I was like, shit.
Yeah,
Right.
it's here's somewhat of a representation of it. And just tell you a little bit about Dark Horse. Dark Horse is a very selective company, like who they let write for them, and like they're kind of a snobby best of the best company. That's why Dennis and I like them so much. So if you guys can see that,
Yeah, that's the character with his gorilla body.
yeah, and that's the art is like really good.
Yeah.
It
Looks
reminds
good.
me.
Shit. Hang on, I gotta close the door.
Oh, your neighbors. But yeah,
Don't
you're
feel
right.
bad, man. You come in the background every 5 minutes.
That's why I lock my door.
I have a question. Did anybody, and because I got in late, did you guys talk about, or is anybody interested, saw the trailer for The Boys? Because I've read all the comics and I thought that the artwork looked fantastic. And then I saw the trailer and I'm like, this is looking good. Especially with Carl, what's his name? Uber, the
Carl
guy who
Urban.
did Trent.
Urban.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I freaking love that guy. Even though he played Cupid back in Hercules' Legendary Journeys. Yes, I'm showing my age here.
He did?
Yes, he
I'm
did.
like, I don't
Yeah, I used to
remember
watch
that.
him.
Oy.
He's been in everything. He's at
Yeah.
one point in time.
Hey, when I saw him in Lord of the Rings, I'm like, that's Thor. I mean, like, he
Yeah.
was straight up Thor. It's funny what he ended up in a Thor
That would
movie.
have worked.
Well, he was that when they were
Blew me
talking about
away
a
as
Thor
Dr.
movie.
McCoy.
Yes.
Don't be afraid of age and weirdness here, Jess.
No, we're really old and really weird.
That's right.
So The Boys, yeah, we talked about The Boys earlier. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Trust me on that one. I have inside dope on that. So, yeah,
I
I
wish
don't know.
Powers, the TV series, was coming out now instead of when it did. I think they could have done a better job.
Yeah. It was
well,
a
they
good
were on
show.
PlayStation. Yeah, it was good, but it was on PlayStation. I guess maybe they didn't have the budget, or it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
If you're an American Gods fan and it shows in these veins, so I've been doing a little research, and it does look like Neil Gaiman will retain ownership of American Gods after a certain point. I don't know if he can. I don't know what his relationship with Stars is, but I know that after the season, it will be possible to move it to Amazon.
Oh,
They have to
that
jump
sounds
through some
promising.
hoops.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've heard that. So I was really happy.
The trailer looked amazing. So I know that the show has been kind of all over the place, but I'm hopeful that that trailer looks so good.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm
Even
pretty sure.
losing a couple of good actresses, it still looks so good.
It does.
I'm pretty sure it's following the same tone as season 1. It's probably going to be a little bit different from it, but because this guy worked with Brian Fuller, he knew what he was doing, and it was just Neil Gaiman fucking with him. It was really what it was, and it's kind of bad that they actually pulled it from him at the last episode. So probably what's going to end up happening is the last episode's going to suck really bad, and that's going to lead to people being outraged by it. I'm just calling it right now, and everyone's going to say, nope, fuck it, we're done with the show. People that are watching it, and that's going to lead to its cancellation on Stars, and then trying to bring it over to Amazon by design.
It was a controversial show from the get-go. I mean, I remember doing our recaps when nobody was watching, and we were still getting some infighting in the comments and stuff like that, just because the show went there, and a lot of sexually went there in a lot of directions that people were not comfortable with. And I'm like, well, this is everything I want in a cable show. That's what I want. It actually kind of sucks that they're not doing that anymore. They're really playing it safe and Puritan and kind of. Which is weird. It boggles my mind because, in a society that's kind of obsessed with sexual identification, nobody wants to actually talk about the actual sex part. Yeah. So I don't get that. It's weird.
Well, I called out CW on their progressive bullshit only because I pointed out one thing that I noticed on there, and please understand this is not. This is just the way I viewed it, and if I'm wrong, please understand. But I noticed they're constantly trying to push on those superhero shows the progressive, diversity of gays and lesbian characters. Okay, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem with that. But have you ever noticed that it's always on the main channels? The only people you see actually having makeout sessions or actual sex scenes are the lesbians.
Yeah, and they don't show the men. That is that shows the bullshit of it. That's why. I mean, again,
not ever.
American Gods wasn't afraid to show the men.
It wasn't afraid, and
neither was Sense8. If anybody's seen Sense8, they had.
I tried, Mary. I got about 4 episodes into it, and I didn't know what the hell was going on.
I tried too. Yeah, I couldn't get into Sense8.
Oh, I liked it a lot.
Hopefully the final was good for you if you watched the final. I didn't see it. I gave it a shot. Okay, I gave it a shot. It wasn't for me. I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on after 4 episodes. And I said, okay, I can't give a show that much more time, even though I knew it was only a minute. I said, okay, I've given it more than I normally would. And then I stopped and I said, I'm not going to blast it. I did blast the point that I thought it was the worst pilot I've ever seen. That was me personally, and that was because the pilot is supposed to set up the story. And by the end of that hour and 30 minutes, I still had no flipping idea what was going on.
Nope. I think they really muddled JMS's story, in my opinion, because, again, as I spoke earlier, I have a lot of respect for that guy as a storyteller.
Yeah.
It was weird. Okay, so after watching Sense8 and then after watching Penny Dreadful, where we see 2 Doctor Who companions very naked and I'm like, Martha Jones, and then I saw Rose.
I know.
I was like, it was like watching your sister have sex or something. I was like, I couldn't watch it.
No.
It was kind of like when the whole thing when the Olsen twins became legal, and it's like, no, I don't want don't plant that.
I was like,
image.
La 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 la.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Billie Piper has shown skin before.
Oh yeah,
I was just gonna say that she went and did that that escort show or whatever.
Yeah, Diary of a.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I didn't see, so that's why I was extra. I'm not sure. I wasn't expecting to have that reaction. I'm like, naked girls, whatever, but it's just I'm so used to seeing her as Rose. I'm like, Rose.
Yeah, she was trying to get rid of
I know.
She was trying to get rid of the kiddie show stigma.
Yeah.
The doctor
could come in any second and see you like this. No.
I mean, Jessica Biel did the same thing.
I loved her in Penny Dreadful, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that show. That show was phenomenal.
Jessica Biel did that in the L Word big time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She was doing because what was she on? She was on CW show, was it? When she started off?
WB.
Like WB. There we go. Yeah.
I was thinking of another BL. Sorry.
And
I was thinking of Flashdance Girl.
Oh no, yeah, Jessica Biel, and she ended up because she was getting typecast as the good girl and all this kind of stuff, and then she went out and did this whole lesbian scene and everything, and that's when her I hate to say it, her acting career actually opened up after that. Yeah. So it was just
sometimes it takes that.
Yeah.
By the way, I was trying to carefully search online without crashing my computer, but Happy is available on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but you have to pay for it.
I know it's $1.99 an episode and $2.99. Yeah, that sucks. But at least it's there.
It's not on Blu-ray though. That's weird.
Right.
So I imagine they're gonna release it around Christmas because it is a Christmas story. So I would say in the next month or so.
But it's not even on Daily Motion. That surprised me.
On Amazon Prime, it's saying air date for Good Omens, July 20th.
Oh, nice.
You guys are making me want to really start searching my Amazon Prime account for good stuff. I'm running out on Netflix.
Well, right now there's Man in the High Castle season 3.
I think I'm actually going to finish. I'm going to finish watching Andromeda. I've always wanted to see the whole thing through, so I'm going to finish that up in probably the next month or two. And then I've really wanted to see this Man in the High Castle, and I've heard nothing but good shit about it.
Yeah. I actually fell asleep last night during episode 6 of season 3.
No, that's what. Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. Season 2 goes off the rails a little bit. It rallies in season 3, but there's like long stretches of.
Oh, I think it's just. Oh, never mind. It's season 1, episode 0. It says. I think it's just like a thing that is setting up.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be totally okay with that because. I've got all the time in the world. The thing is, like, all those shows drop at once, so you got to be binging half of these shows. That doesn't really help us with the week. Star Trek Discovery will be weekly. I hope to God something good is weekly.
Project Blue Book is weekly.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Yeah, it's History Channel, so it's weekly.
And then Counterpart. We haven't heard anything, but I think Counterpart will be out in January, February too. Yeah. So, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna look and see
because it says coming 2019. That's all it says on Good Omens.
How about The Tick? When is that coming back?
The Tick is February. Yeah, February 15th, if I remember correctly.
Love The Tick.
I'm going to give them credit for bringing that show back. I actually enjoyed the first show.
Well, it's Ben Edlund. He owns it. So I mean,
okay. According to Google, this could be bullshit. Sorry to interrupt there, Dennis. Counterpart. Season 1, episode 2, January 6, 2019.
That sounds about right. I told you everything's coming back in January.
I just Google. I mean, like sometimes this is right, sometimes this is. This is also the information I got my Farscape episode. So I guess they aired them out of order on Sci-Fi. That might have been some of the reason that Sci-Fi fucked up with it, because I guess apparently they aired them out of order or something like that. But Farscape. I'm sorry,
Farscape. Okay.
So when I started doing the Farscape reviews, Dennis, I did the wrong fucking episode, and Viking Bitches all. That's not the second episode. And I'm all, well, that's what it says the second episode is. And I guess they aired them out of order or some shit.
Yeah, I've had that on my spreadsheet for a while that they said January 1st, but I wasn't taking it as gospel.
Yep. So that is. Well, the thing is, Starz really sucks at promoting their shows. I think the other guy, I forget his name, James something or other, Geeking Out or whatever. He's the only other guy that I saw covering Counterpart regularly. And I think he and I and Dennis and everybody in the chat here were the only ones who promoted that fucking show, Counterpart, at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got to be honest, I don't have Stars, so I don't have cable. So there you go.
I don't have Stars either. I won't until Counterpart comes on.
I did it through Amazon to.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing.
I actually watch Outlander.
Are those your corgis?
Feisty is now 2 corgis, you guys. Oh. There's my babies.
One sniffing one's butt right there.
Right.
Like, how you doing, Bob?
Hey, Dennis, any chance that you'll do a solo stream to recap Timeless in December?
Possibly.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see what time is like.
Well, it's not timeless, obviously. Well, when's it coming out? Is that the movie?
The movie's supposed to be in December, I believe. Yeah.
It's dropping on a Friday, right?
Or probably a Sunday at like 10 o'clock. You know, it's a 2 hour. It's NBC. They don't really care at this point. So who knows? They haven't really given an official release date on it. They just say it's in the works.
Hmm.
Well, I can. Yeah, we can make that. It's up to Dennis, but we can totally make that happen.
Yeah, no, I really like the show. I'm really kind of pissed the way NBC handled it. They really shuffled it around. They didn't promote it at all. But you know,
I'll give it this. What I've seen of it is better than Manifest.
Oh, dude, I like I said, I got a minute and a half into Manifest, and I was like, "Fuck this shit," and I dropped it.
Whoa, damn, that's oof.
I'm gonna keep watching it like a car wreck because it's for network. It's severely average, but it's just a great representation of what's going on right now. It's like, oh, this sci-fi genre thing's really popular. Let's put a little bit in a normal drama and see if the sci-fi people will watch. And no.
Yeah, they got me with The Crossing. I don't know if I can stick it out with Manifest.
Yeah, I couldn't do The Crossing because all I kept thinking about was the South Park episode with the people coming back in time to get jobs. and that's all I could think of, you know.
Jobs.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't help it.
And that's all I thought of.
Dennis.
I'm sorry.
I'm surprised you're on here, Dennis, since you had class yesterday.
Yeah, I actually
your weekend time.
I did finish and I did pass with a 94. So
Nice.
Okay.
Congratulations.
yeah, so I'm halfway through my series of classes. So I've got 2 more I've got to take.
Oh, what are you majoring in?
It's not major. It's a fire inspector series that I'm doing for work. So I took the class 1A and yesterday's was 1B, and I've got 1C and 1D. I've got to take.
Just take fire.
Office Mojo says Venom is projected at 205 million worldwide.
Yeah,
I didn't go see it.
80 million here domestically.
Yeah, I didn't go see it. I was never a big fan of Venom to begin with. So I
It's
give a
okay.
shit. Yeah, that's it.
This is what Dennis is training for. Yeah,
Pretty much.
you get
Fire
94%.
Marshal Bill.
No, be a fire marshal. You need. To
Oh God, I
actually go
missed
through a
that
lot more
show.
shit.
I miss In Living Color.
That was a
I
great
do.
show.
It was.
It was for the last season when after the Waynes left and after what's his name?
Jim Carrey?
You just popped. Yeah, once he left, the show kind of took a real big nosedive.
Yeah, they canceled it right after that. So
Hey, we got J-Lo out of it, so all good.
I don't know if that's good. You seen Jiggly? However you pronounce that thing.
That movie was amazing, Dennis. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Lord.
almost as good as Grand Canyon.
It was an amazing train wreck.
I was being facetious. Look at Feisty.
Hey, it has a higher rating on Rotten Tomatoes than the Gotti movie that came out with John Travolta. So there you go.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
it's got
God,
John
Jeff-
Travolta.
Yeah, that's why. I'm going to see A Star Is Born tomorrow. I can't wait.
Gary's excited
Looks like
about
a
that.
really good trailer.
Did Mel get you the hat and the shirt to go along with it?
He did.
And your little purse, your little man purse too?
My mirth. Yes.
Gary, have you seen any of the previous versions?
Yeah. I've seen both.
No, there's 3.
Yeah, there were 3.
Then there must be 3. I saw the
Yeah.
Barbara Streisand one and then the old one that was black and white or something like that. And
The one with Judy
There was a-
Garland or the original?
Judy Garland. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's
No,
one-
Judy
before
Garland
that.
was color.
Yeah, the one before that, it was
My
an
memory's in black and white
actress.
for Nobi.
Maybe it was your TV at the
You
time.
saw the 1937 version.
But it probably was watched because I had a little box TV that was black and white. That's probably why I just assumed it
There
was.
you go.
black
Yeah,
and white.
right.
Hey, my first TV I got was like my parents got it for me for Christmas. It was like I don't know, 10, 12 CRT, black and white. I'm like 7, 8 years old. I was the happiest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
I stayed up late watching David Letterman past my bedtime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arsenio Hall.
The Judy Garland version was filmed on the same stage as King Kong.
Cool.
I did not know that.
It is a rare movie though, where every version of it so far has really been fantastic. So I really did kind of want to go see the new one just to see if it holds up.
It's like the tick of movies.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, I'm a Lady Gaga fan.
Yeah, there you
so,
go.
you know.
Gaga.
Gaga. She will always be Gaga.
Not my type of music, but you know what? To each their own. I'm more into metal and hard rock.
Oh,
New
yeah.
Judas
Yeah, me
Priest
too.
I like both kinds of music, metal and hard rock.
I like both kinds, country and
Oh
western.
yeah.
Yeah,
I like
That's why
country,
I like the
not the new
Christopherson
shit.
version.
Venom made its money back in one weekend.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep, $205 million opening
cool.
weekend.
That's just to encouraging Sony to do. what
I
they're doing.
love every minute of this. I think it's great. Amy Pascal.
I was laughing at the weirdest things in that movie. It belonged in the late 90s, 2000s.
Yeah, there was jokes in there you weren't supposed to. Yeah, we were laughing at stuff that, I don't think we were supposed to laugh at, but it was funny anyway.
I still say, I mean, the woman, Mrs. Chen, at the end there when he eats the bad guy.
No, that is
Her reaction.
that is the most accurate San Francisco thing I've ever seen in any film.
It really was. She had no reaction whatsoever. She just kind of looks at him and she's like, and he says, I have a parasite. And she's like, okay, that sounds good. I get the fuck out of my store. You paid.
Yeah, and then Venom. Parasite.
I'm sorry to
really
endearment.
enjoyed Venom.
I did.
Really liked Venom.
I did. I'm sorry to overgeneralize, but older Asian women are the best at not giving a fuck about anything ever.
Yeah.
Right.
And wow.
You obviously live in California. I lived there for 7 years in NorCal. Trust me, I remember that. The only
That's
people I
fucking
thought they didn't
hilarious.
care less were the Punjabis.
That's
not insulting. I lived in a high Punjabi population.
That's where I live now, and that's
Sony should pull a Halloween and just go Spider-Man 1, 2, Venom, and then do Spider-Man 3 with Venom in it and cross them over, bring back Toby, the wine boy, and
fuck
move
yeah,
forward.
Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Oh, I would dump piles of money on that movie.
They could have a lot of
fucking job.
Just lean into it. That's the thing. Lean into it. That final fight was stupid. They just leaned into the comedy stuff. Tom Hardy was great, talking to himself the whole movie. It was funny.
When they split apart, you saw the two guys in their suits and that horrible CGI, and then when they started fighting each other, and it was just like, I'm like, I love this. I was having so much fun.
When the little guy, hits Tom Hardy and like he goes back, and I'm like,
Tom
really?
Hardy would have been all.
Yeah, he would have been like, what was that?
Breeze.
Yeah,
I know. There's no way Riz Ahmed could fight Tom Hardy.
Wow. And that's the thing I have a problem with, is that there's so much of that. It's funny.
It's like, did they get him a step stool so he could actually reach his face?
I know, right?
Yeah. And then they lost two symbiotes midway through the movie, right? They just never mention them. We know one is Carnage, but the other one, where's the other
Okay.
One died.
I would have gone if there's a Carnage in there. John Cassidy was my favorite villain. I remember buying the first comic when he had his cameo at the very end of Amazing Spider-Man. I don't remember what freaking issue it was. But then in the next issue, he starts out with, do you want to know why you're about to die? And then he goes through, he's tormenting this guy, and he goes, why, for the love of God, why? And he goes, because I can, and he kills the guy. And I was like, oh, crap, this is a whole new villain.
Hey, Jess, I was just going to tell you, Sean Cassidy was in the Hardy Boys. Cletus Cassidy was Carnage.
Cletus, okay.
I
didn't want to correct him either, so
hey, Reed, I heard Grace Randolph yesterday say there's no definitive Carnage stories, that she showed that she's a poser right there. There's one called Mind Bomb. Dennis knows what I'm talking about. This was a banned comic. It was a one shot, it had a foil cover, and it had basically him eating a bunch of fetuses in it. So they banned it, but it's actually a great story because you get into the mind of Carnage. So try to find that. It's cheap now, but it was a banned comic for a little while.
For the record, if I screw up on a geek reference, call me out every day, twice on Sunday.
It's all good. That's what we do. We miss shit all the time. Just listen to our podcast.
Yeah, the whole thing about me.
You want to tell us about the Venom story with David Cassidy? Just let it rip, man.
At least I got his last name right.
Yes.
God, it's been so long since I read a a Carnage comic. Oh, Lord.
It's all good. We're getting killed on the Batman thing for the Venture Brothers in the comics.
Yeah, and the thing was, I meant to say they never called Hank the Batman.
Okay.
They always called him the Bat. And yeah, I screwed that up. So.
Well, yeah, on my Buffy video, I missed one word, and I got killed on that.
That's because you're a terrible person, Gary.
Yes, I obviously am, and I'm not a Buffy fan at all. Yeah, there's no way you're a Buffy
Lord.
fan. Okay, you're right.
Hey, do you guys know that Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I'm sorry, Gary. You brought that up, but do you know that I actually learned that was the first time on a television show that they said "Google it"?
Oh, cool.
Wow.
I did not know that.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. When did we start saying Google it? 2000?
No, in the 90s, like the late 90s.
Yeah.
Really?
Because it was
When Google exploded and kind of took over the whole Yahoo thing. Yeah, we all started. The term just was Google it. We never said Yahoo it. We said look it up on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then
gosh.
all of a sudden we're like Google it, and they actually used it on it. I don't know what episode, but I read about it, and they said that the first time that was referenced was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That is so funny.
Joss was ahead of his time.
Well, Josh has always been ahead of his time because he actually makes a show that shows empowering women without, total asshat about how
he was also Me Too and way before everybody was.
Lol. Or
also wasn't
the
afraid.
Google,
He
all
also
of our
wasn't
parents
afraid
say.
to kill people off.
I was telling the story. I was on my morning thing. Dennis, were you there for the Dollhouse? Were you with us for the Dollhouse?
I might have chimed in.
Comic-Con.
No, I was not. There
Oh God, yeah, that was the one where it was just so obvious. Him and Melissa was like, those two need to get a room. Like, fuck. And then the whole thing came out later. And it was just, I have that videoed somewhere. I got to find that. It's 1 hour of flirting at Comic-Con.
So Gary, you said Melissa vetoed one of your tattoos.
She did. I said, I wanted to get the hench for life right here, babe. What do you think? She's like, no. Come on, really? No.
Yeah, she can have Lucas.
And her argument was kind of my argument. She said, I'm the only one who's going to see that, and I don't even know what that means. So,
She didn't watch Venture Brothers?
no.
Oh,
no,
you
she
need to
doesn't
get her to watch, then she'll want it.
Terrible.
That's terrible. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff we know. She loves a lot. I mean, she likes all the CW stuff. Yeah, so we part ways on a lot of stuff.
Her and I see eye to eye on iZombie. So that's,
I like iZombie. It's just I don't love iZombie, but I like it.
That's what I'm saying. Her and I see, we're on the same wavelength with that.
What about The Good Place?
The Good Place. I don't know if she watches that or not.
She if she watched it, she'd probably like it.
My wife actually got me. My wife's for those of you who don't know, my wife's in Turkey right now for a year. She comes back in November, and what she did was she was like getting on Netflix while she was there, and she was. You need to watch this show. I'm like thinking, okay, I'm not a big fan of the CW right now. And she's like, no, I want you to watch the show. We want to talk about it. She goes, trust me. So she got me watching the 100. And I got to be honest, 5 seasons in, I was like, that shit was phenomenal.
Oh, look at that dog.
I tried the 100. It's too YA for me.
I tried watching it too, and it was just way too YA. And I know Mel loves that show.
Mel loves that show.
I don't know why, but that one I looked forward to every week, and I don't know why.
The guy from American Gods is in it, isn't he?
Yeah, he was in the first 2 seasons, I think. He was really good in it.
Okay, now do you guys want to? Sorry to cut in, but I have to dip out because Dr. Who's 2 minutes.
Yes, it's going to start.
You guys want to continue this? And Dennis, you want to message me, or do you guys want to bounce?
I actually got to bounce too.
Okay.
Because this is my only day that I've got to do all this kind of crap. So.
Did anyone notice that Blink is being shown after the premiere of this? Is that so we can get the bad taste out of our mouth?
Yes. Oh, that is totally. I mean, that's supposed to be your Doctor Who hook episode, so that they're to try to hook people in, because they know they have to get new fans. So yeah.
And after we see it, we got to talk about the new logo, Gary.
Oh, we got to talk about everything.
Yeah, that logo is annoying me.
The only one who's like really
I'm
hopeful right now
so
about
sad. I won't be able to watch it.
I did not like the
I won't
trailer
be able to join the review because
Aw.
stupid work. I mean,
It's
it's not
okay.
stupid, but I like my job. So
Yeah, your job's awesome.
Aren't you due for a sick day? Feisty,
Yeah.
don't you have a headache coming on?
I was actually thinking about taking a personal day today too. I was like, Steve,
They'd never suspect.
All
They're
right.
playing it twice.
I have to
it
bounce.
looks like.
All right,
Yep.
bye, Gary. Thank you.
So, yeah. All right, guys.
bye, Gary.
See you. Talk soon.
Bye.
Thanks, Matthew and Jess, for coming in. And Feisty, love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.